that have taken place so far.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carlos Herrera, and here in the Palisades fire burn scar zone, the heavy rainfall triggering flood and severe thunderstorms, and there's a firm slide coming up next. And with that fast move, we're also at another burn scar area. We're live here in Sierra Madre. Look at the storm system looking pretty overwhelmed right now. That fast-moving water has concerns for residents about potential mudslides and debris flows. More on that next.
Good homes. A storm also bringing local mountains with higher some.
On this Tuesday, it is all about the weather, and you can see, look at the white just outside of the 395. That's snow coming down some of the some severe storms right now in Bakersfield could cause a lot. Ventura County, rain in those, but don't have quite as much rain heading into Orange County or down through San Diego County. 65 for the coastal, downtown 63, 62. All areas rain with the possibility of some thunderstorms. Same thing right here, Orange County, Inland Empire, and the high desert. Those temperatures range from 50 to 64 degrees. Jessica, back to you.
Mark, storm on our road. We're looking at flooding. This is in North Hollywood. It's left some cars stranded in several inches of water. Citizen video shows a number of smaller vehicles along Vineland Avenue between Van Noen Street and Sherman Way. Drivers in pickup trucks stepped in to help. They managed to haul some of those vehicles out. The department has since closed off that road to prevent other vehicles from getting stuck.
And more on the breaking news out of Anaheim. Over Brooks that come to us courtesy of home. All westbound lanes remain blocked right now. Been issued. Caltrans is estimating that all lanes reopen in about 15 minutes. But if you're heading out this morning, slow down. Be careful, especially in this area.
Burns are being told to prepare for possible mudslides. Evacuation warnings have been issued for parts of Sierra Madre impacted by January's Eaton fire. Ktlat's Jean Kang, they're live now with the Jean. Good morning.
Good morning, Jessica and Eric. It has been pouring since about 6 o'clock this morning. At least that's when we started doing our live shots. Here in the 10 o'clock hour, it is still pretty heavy. Look at this. We're live in Sierra Madre where they This is La Ramada, the storm drainage system off of Sierra Madre Boulevard. You see, it is flowing from the hillside. A big concern, especially for folks here by the free flow. So fall totals could hit an inch or more by midday. So that takes us to about the noon hour. And says Mark Kriske has been could possibly get an inch per hour, so that would be very intense. Hillsides have been scorched by fire, as we know. They have little vegetation left to absorb all of this, which means the water flows straight downhill. Sierra Madre police, they issued evacuation warnings to get that message out to the communities there. For places in canyon areas, officials are urging anyone in those high-risk zones to leave while they can. Similar warnings are active near the Palisades, Hearst, and other burn scar areas throughout the region here in Southern California. And LA County says the risk for mudslides and flooding remains moderate to heavy. That's through the middle of the day until roughly 12 p.m. For anyone who needs a place to go, the Red Cross has set up a shelter that's located over at the Hart House Senior Center on Sierra Madre Boulevard. That is open this morning for folks who need it. Now, for residents in Altadena who already lost so much in the Eaton fire, today brings more anxiety about what could happen next.
God, like, we don't want something else to happen here because we're going through through a lot of trauma, stress, trying to survive and everything. And something else to happen here, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough.
Officials say this is the most intense part of the storm, and the next several hours, or at least a couple of hours, will be critical. Parking bans are in effect on those narrow canyon roads to give emergency vehicles room to get through quickly. And if you are headed to work or school this morning, if you're hitting those roadways, please use extra caution. That's because wet roads and freeways and poor visibility have really led to a lot of crashes during the morning commute. Back out here live, as you see, the storm drains are working properly, but this is a lot of mud and water flow from the hillsides, as you see, gathering here from the multiple storm drains. And folks in this area of Sierra Madre are just bracing for the worst, but really praying for the best outcome. But fortunately, I just checked with police and emergency management. So far, they do not have any reports of damage or mud flow or mudslides. So that's the good news this morning. The storm is still blowing through. It could last for another couple of hours. Reporting live here in Sierra Madre, Gene Kang, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you. Authorities are also keeping an eye on the Palisades burn scar area. They're worried about potential mud and debris flows in that area due to the heavy rain. Herrera is live in Topeka with details. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Eric. And it really seems like the peak of the storm had rolled in the last hour or so with that heavy rainfall. The wind significantly died down last hour as well, but the destructive winds really remains throughout the day. No reports of major mudslides or flooding in this area, at least at Topanga, Malibu, or Palisades. But of course, officials are monitoring this closely. You see one of the road closures here in effect all morning long, Topanga Canyon Boulevard. That's until further notice, until the rain lets down. Let's talk about some evacuation orders and warnings. We know those warnings were in effect since last night, but many of them have been upgraded to mandatory orders as of last night. That includes 115 homes in Mandeville Canyon and in Palisades. Also, many homes in Malibu remain warning and told this morning to be ready to evacuate. So are many folks who live within the limits of City of LA.
This is out of an abundance of caution. We are hoping that the system will not be as bad as this, but of course we want to be extremely prepared.
An official mobilizing an army of resources as they hope for the best, but again, getting for the worst. The usual October is bringing heavy rainfall across the region today. It's elevating concerns for flooding and mud and debris flow in the area around the Palisades fire burn scar. We know that these hillsides have scorched recently, and any rain is just too much. This morning, city crews have installed 13,000 feet of K-rail in vulnerable neighborhoods to protect them from mud. The city's fire department says it's pre-deployed resources like strike teams, specialized heavy-duty trucks in Pacific Palisades and also in Malibu.
Capabilities are much different than your everyday fire engine that you see around the streets. They are four-wheel drive capable, shorter wheelbase, and higher frames. What this does is not knowing what incident we're going to be responding to, whether it be a medical aid on the other side of a mud and debris flow, we have to be able to.
Reason. Back out here live. Well, actually, we were getting some video here. Caltrans crews also closing off this portion of Topanga Canyon Boulevard, and that is between Pacific Coast Highway and Grand View Drive. That's until further notice.
Carlos, thank you. A mandatory evacuation order has just been issued for some of the areas impacted by the airport fire in Orange County. The order is for Tribune Canyon and Bell Canyon. There are also several road closures now in effect, including Trabuco Canyon at Rose Canyon, Gray Rock at Bell Canyon, and Hot Springs Canyon at Ortega Highway.
As we've been saying, long parts of Southern California are under a severe thunderstorm watch. This is the first time that has happened in nearly 2 decades.
Us this morning is Dr. Ariel Cohen. He is the meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service in Oxnard. Cohen, thank you for being with us.
Morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell us more about this thunderstorm advisory, one that we haven't seen the likes of in almost 2 decades.
Yes, exactly. It's been almost 2 decades since we've had a severe weather watch in effect for our area around Los Angeles. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, responsible for the issuance of these watches. We work very closely with them when it comes to these weather setups, and we determined that the environment was favorable for the development of a few localized areas of damaging wind gusts. And indeed, we have seen localized pockets of wind damage all the way from Los Angeles County, all the way to Santa Barbara County. Now, most areas did not experience those damaging winds. However, they occurred on a localized, spotty basis and still presented hazards to folks out there. So that severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect for another or so in Los Angeles County and the adjacent coastal waters, where we're still looking at the potential for isolated wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour or so, capable of very localized damaging winds. Just encourage everyone to be weather ready. You know, don't be afraid, be prepared, because now is the time to just be careful. If you hear the wind whipping up or a severe weather warning is issued by my office here, and that's a time to get inside a building, a sturdy structure, stay away from windows. And of course, that flooding risk continues, especially around the Eaton burn scar, Palisades burn scar, are going to be most susceptible in the next few hours for debris flows. And we do have flash flood warnings in effect for those areas and flood advisories over a broader portion of the region. Experience flood and some rock slides already.
How unusual is it for us to be getting this type of a storm, this time of year, and are we getting more rain than you had expected or forecasted?
Well, this is certainly for an October storm system quite rare. They have happened before, but it's